If you're looking for a fun, easy eyeshadow tutorial, then you've come to just the right place. Today I have shopped my own stash. I'm pulling out products that I've used on a regular basis. In fact, you've probably seen many of these before, and I'm gonna share with you my signature eye makeup look. So if you're ready, let's get started. Alright guys, to get to this place, I have already put on my foundation, which is the e.l.f. Soft Glam. I use just a drop of this and then a drop of the Maybelline Superstay. Love this combination when it comes to a semi-gloss, semi-matte. It's semi-gloss and it's semi-matte. Yes, it is the perfect finish for my skin. It's medium to full coverage. I think it's a little bit, yeah, I'd say it's, if you use just this, it's medium. Use this, it's more full. Put them together, I just feel like it's perfection. So that's what I would say this combo gives you. All right, so let's get into this eye look. The first thing that I do is I like to use this Cossus color corrector. This is in the color pink, and I will put this just on top of my eyelids. I use it sort of as a color corrector and a little bit as a light pink base. If you have a concealer, you can use that too. It doesn't need to be in this pink color. I just honestly do that because I'm already using the color corrector underneath my eyes. So I have it in my hand. It just adds up a little bit of brightness on my eyelids. And I did it by mistake one day and I liked the way it worked, which is how most of our makeup days, don't they go that way? And some of our best looks are where we've either made a mistake and we loved it, or we just did something out of the ordinary and we ended up loving that look too. So that's how this eye makeup look came to be. Real quickly, you guys, if you want to support this channel and watch it continue to grow and be a channel, I encourage you and thank you for your support. You can become a channel ambassador for $1 a month. That is the lowest amount that YouTube allows us as creators to select as membership amounts. So I selected the very smallest one, is 99 cents a month. So $12 a year. That just allows me to keep the channel growing and bring you guys these tutorials. So thank you for becoming a channel ambassador. You just hit the join button down below. So now that I have that color corrector tapped in nicely, and again, you don't need to use this pink color corrector. If you've got a concealer, then you can use that. If you've got the Maybelline Age Rewind eraser, which is in number 160, you can use that. You can also use a paint pot by MAC in Painterly. You can use just your concealer, just anything really to neutralize the tones on your eyelids if you are like me and have some discoloration. I just want that whole eye area from the eyebrow down to the eyelashes to be about one shade lighter than the rest of my face to start this look. Next thing is I'm gonna grab this Trish McVoy eye palette. It's a face and eye palette that I shared with you guys a couple weeks ago. This has sold out at Nordstrom. I did have a subscriber mention that you can still get it at Bloomingdale's. It was available at Bloomingdale's this morning when I looked. You can also get it on the Trish McVoy website. So it does have bronzer, highlighter, blush, and a pressed powder for underneath your eyes to set your makeup. And then it's a beautiful compact. I've used this every day since I got it. And then here is the eyeshadows. Today I'm just gonna use these two and then this dark one. So if you wanna put the video on pause and go find eyeshadow colors that are about 1 or 2 shades lighter than your skin tone, and then a nice warm dark brown, then you can come back and join us and get this look started with me. All right, so I'm gonna start by taking the darker of those two colors, which is this color right here. I'm gonna take a medium-sized fluffy brush. I'm gonna hold the brush towards the back, and I'm gonna put that powder right on the tip of that brush. Tap off any excess. Now, if you have hooded eyes or droopy eyelids, you can absolutely still create this look because we're gonna start right at that crease in the center. And I'm gonna almost do a straight line, bringing that line right where my eyebrow starts. In fact, I'm gonna do it a little bit darker, you guys, just so you can get an idea so it shows up. I'm gonna go grab this darker one, again, just so you can see it, because it's such a light color, it may not show up. And then I'll go over it so you can kind of see. But you really want to create, that's still not dark enough, Jodi. Let's just really go so you can get the idea. So see that color? That's really where you want to put the lighter color. You want it to go in as far as your eyebrow, but a straight line on that crease and then end it almost where your eyebrow ends. Not at the eyebrow, but just a straight line. So just something like that. I'm gonna get this off and I'm gonna blend that out because that's really not what I wanted. Let's just go back in with a little bit of color corrector. I mean, although that's a pretty look too, but I don't really want a shadow look. I want just a little bit of a transition look there. So what I love about makeup, if it doesn't work out, just either cover it up or wipe it off and just keep going. All right, so holding the brush back here on the tip of my brush, and I'm gonna go into this color right here, which is kind of a yellow color, which normally I would stay away from, but once I started using this, I'm like, that's exactly what I want. I want it to just brighten the eye area, create some shape to my eye without looking like I have on a ton of eyeshadow. So I'm gonna put that lighter color right in that crease, straight line it to the eyebrow, and now if you have droopy eyelids, you're gonna wanna put this shade on the outside of your droop. You're not gonna wanna try to go up underneath or you won't see it. So just go on the outer edge of that droop so that you see it from a distance. And I think for today's look, I'm gonna just do one eye. I'll go back off camera after the video and do the other eye, but that way you can kind of compare how it's making the eye look so you can decide if that's a look that you like. So I'm just gonna keep going back in, same color, same technique, just to build that color. I don't want it to really look like there's a shadow there. I just wanna give, again, a little bit of dimension and structure and shape to my eye. I want to hide that there's a droop there and give a more pulled back, tight, bright look to that eye area. So just adding a little bit of shadow will help us do that. And then you want, again, straight lines. The days of the windshield wiper, those left me when I turned 50. And instead of going windshield wiper, I'm just going full on straight line. That's just the new look. Now, if you have this palette, this is the color Soft Peach that we're using. So again, just gonna keep going with that till I get that desired softness to my eye. Next, I'm gonna grab a flat paddle brush and I'm gonna go into Shell, which is this lighter color right here. Now, the reason I like to hold my brush back is because it allows lighter application. So I pick up less shadow and I apply less shadow. If I'm doing something like contour, for example, where I want a heavier hand, then I'll hold the brush up closer to the bristles. That gives me a heavier application and a heavier hand when I go to apply it. But because we're doing light colors and I want a light application, I just move my hand to the back of the brush and it really allows you to get a lighter application. We're gonna go with that Shell on the side. Now, if you don't have this palette, that Shell color is just about 2 shades maybe warmer than the color that we put on that crease. And for this, I just want to lightly go in the inner corner on my eyelid, all the way across my lashes to that outer corner, and then go up in the crease to where it meets that soft peach color that we put. And then just really softly blend it, pat it and blend it, pat it and blend it till you get the smooth look that you're going for. Then I just take the sharp tip of that brush, get a little bit more of that same shadow, but this time on the tip, tap off any excess, and then just quickly carve out the bottom of my brow. Really easy, really pretty look. I've been loving this look lately. Okay, now the next thing that we're gonna do is take a small pencil brush and we're gonna go into this dark color here. But the key with this is you wanna find, if you don't have this palette, you wanna find a brown that is a nice, soft, warm brown, because that's gonna go on the bottom lashes. And then on the top lashes, we're gonna use Teddy by MAC. It's also brown. Now you'll notice they are very similar in tones of brown, but that's what you're looking for your lower lashes, something soft and smudged out. And on the top lashes, we're gonna go with a little harsher line to define the upper eyelid, but those browns are pretty similar in tone. So if you are looking through your makeup stash now, that's kind of what you're looking for, are 2 browns, similar tone, a softer look to one, and then a little bit harder look to one. If you have Teddy by MAC, that is, for me, one of the most perfect browns because it's dark enough to show up. It's a warm brown, which I find as I'm getting older, I do want little bit warmer brows and just a little bit of warmth around my eyes. I don't like a warm blush. I don't like a warm lipstick. I don't like a warm contour. I don't like a warm bronze, but I do like a little bit of warmth around my brows and my eyelashes. All right, so with that pencil, we're just gonna go in, and here I hold the brush right in the center because I need good precision and I need a little heavier hand. And you can go as light or as dark in this application as you want. And I'm gonna put that eyeshadow right on the tip of that brush, tap off any excess, and then start at the outer corner and go right at my lash line. But I don't want to do I don't want it to go in my waterline. I just really want it to go at my lashes and below. And then when you get back to that corner, just kick it out just a little tiny bit. You don't have to do that. I just love it because it just makes my eye look a little larger. And then softly blend that. Now, if you don't have a pencil brush like this, if you've got an eyebrow brush like this, you can use it. This just is a little bit too harsh for me. It leaves a little bit more of a straight line where I like a soft blown out look, which is why I like to use something like this. You can also use a small smudging brush, and then you can go as far in as you want. I stop at my lash line. I just like that to be a little bit straighter. I don't like my lower line to curve back up where my lashes end. I like it to be more straight. I just feel like I look more tired if it curves in as it goes towards the center of my eye. Next, we're gonna grab that Teddy by MAC, nice and sharp pencil here. Then I'm gonna go right in the corner, start where that shadow is, flick up a little. Again, you don't have to do this part in terms of the wing. Hold that a little bit tight and just create a bit of a triangle. So when you start in that corner, you can just come up a little bit and you've made a little line, or a little dot, if you will. Then you just bring that dot forward towards the center of your eye. I like to bring it into literally the center of my eye, and then hide it as it goes down to where my lashes end. Little bit of a wing. You don't have to do a wing. You could do a straight line. I like the lift that I get in my look when the outer corner has a thicker line and it gets thinner as it goes into my lash line. Now you can take that eyeliner all the way to where your lashes stop, or you can do kind of that half look like I do. It's really up to you on what you like. Next, I'm gonna take my mascara, and I'm using the Fireworks by Maybelline. And here's an important step. I like to go right at the root of the lash, and we've learned this, right? I've learned this 100 years ago, and I forget sometimes because I get in such a big hurry, but it's a key step in this look. Is I go right to the root of the lashes, wiggle it, because it helps give a darker look to my eyeliner. It helps line the roots of the lashes. Wiggle that and then pull that out. Really simple. I like to do just one coat. Now here's something to consider. When I do my eye makeup like this, kind of my signature look, I like equal balance between my lash showing and my eyeliner showing. And what I mean by that is sometimes you'll look at your makeup and you see more eyeliner, but maybe you don't really see your lashes going above the eyeliner. Or sometimes you might look at it and go, gosh, I see a lot of lashes, but I don't see any liner and I want liner. I like to have a balance so that when you look at my eye, you see equal balance of eyelashes going up and eyeliner going out. And I know a lot of younger girls now don't wear eyeliner at all. They just wear either a little shadow or no shadow and then really pretty lashes. I can't do that anymore because the space between my lashes is like from here to Texas. Or not even Seattle, Washington. So that just tells you how big of a gap we're talking here. So I have to fake that with an eyeliner. So I like the balance, again, between the eyeliner and the lashes to show a balance. I can't get away with just mascara and eyeshadow without a liner because the roots of my lashes just aren't strong enough anymore to show for themselves. So if you're looking at your makeup and you're like, it's just not quite what I'm looking for, then just look back a little bit and go, is there balance between my lashes, my lash look, and my eyeliner look? Or do I see one much more prominent over the other and then adjust accordingly? And that gives you a nice balanced look to your eye makeup if you like a lash, mascara, eyeliner look, which I personally do. Now I'm gonna go and add just a little bit of volume to the lower lashes from mascara because I want to balance out my eye. I don't want it to look like my eyes are sort of floating. So I'm just gonna make sure there's no extra mascara because that would be disastrous on my pencil or my mascara wand. And then just carve out a little bit of a lash look. And you can go back and do a second coat if you want, but you don't have to. Now, if you find that your lashes maybe don't look quite as dark as you want, or like me, I noticed that I'm starting to have more, and I don't know how this happened or when it happened, but I'm starting to see more of that, you know how I used to tight line? That area where you would tight line, I'm starting to see more of that gap. And I think it's because my eyelashes are just not as thick as they used to be. So you can take a black eyeliner and go up into that waterline, but much closer to the lashes than to your eyeball. So you don't want to darken that whole area, but I like to just, you can see that gap. I like to just make that gap look less noticeable by putting a black liner real close to my roots, but it's easier to reach them from this side than from this side. So I just try to go right at the root line. I'm not waterlining, or tight lining in my watermark. I always say that I'm not waterlining. It's not my waterline. It is tight lining. That just helps my eyes look not so, I don't know, aged, I guess. So that's a very simple look, you guys. It's super fast. You probably have these same products already or very similar. And then what you can do is just pick up a little bit of your foundation again, put it on a brush or use your concealer. This is only if you want to do this extra step to clean it up, and then just go right along and create a little bit of that V so that it looks like you had a perfectly arched wing liner and no one needs to know the difference. And if you bring that shadow a little bit too low underneath your eye and you want to clean that up a little bit, you can always do that too. You could use concealer, you can use your foundation. I just use whatever's in front of me and clean that up. Now, this would be my everyday look. You could grab another brush, like a fluffy brush like this. You could go in and get maybe, I don't know, this color or this color and just dab it right here in the center to brighten that up a little bit. You can mix and match them, add a little sparkle. This is just such a versatile palette and I've really enjoyed it. It is $125. So I know it is not in everyone's budget, but if you've got colors like this, maybe in a couple different palettes, pull all those palettes out and create this look with, if it takes you 3 different palettes, but you've got colors that you love, who cares? Just create the look that you want with the palettes that you already have. Okay, so that is the before after. I'm really off today. My husband is having hand surgery tomorrow. He broke his hand in 2 places. And so we are going to the hospital early in the morning to have his hand re-broke because it's been a few weeks since this happened. We didn't know it was broke. Long story anyway. So we've really been focused on just trying to get a bunch of stuff done because he will be out of commission for a couple weeks. So my brain and my mouth are just on different pages today. That and I'm almost 55. And I think that the older I get, it's just harder to have a streamed line of thought. Are you guys with me on that? There's just some days that are better than others, but it'll all be fine. He'll be fine. It'll all be fine. But anyway, here we go. So here's the before. Here's the real quick after. It's an easy look. You can do it in literally 15 minutes, probably 10 if I wasn't yapping, but you know, what fun would that be? This isn't the silent films. Could you imagine tutorials if I wasn't talking? That would be like we were back in school, and even though it's makeup, no one wants to be back in class. All right, you guys, that does it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, let me know by giving me a thumbs up and or leaving me a comment. I love reading your guys' comments. We have so many new subscribers in the last 3 months, so welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so glad you are here. You guys are adding to our community, making it really fun to share different beauty routines, different products that you guys love. I've enjoyed reading and learning, and I know many of the other regular subscribers have also, because I see your guys' comments on top of each other's comments. So think of this as a safe place to be on the internet. For those of us over 50, yeah, we have wrinkles and it sucks, but at least we're here sharing it together and figuring out ways to make it suck less, right? So I'm glad you're here making my aging process suck less. That's so eloquent, Jodi. Way to go. All right, you guys. That does it for me today. I'll see you in just a couple days. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.